Hi, how are you? My name is Ilsa Ban. I'm associate professor of philosophy here at North Park, and I'm teaching ethics and philosophy and some religion too. Today, I want to introduce the concept of utilitarianism. So, what is utilitarianism and how it works and what's the problem? That kind of things. First of all, utilitarianism is the most widely accepted ethical theory available out there. So let me just explain how it works first of all. An action or practice is right if it leads to the greatest possible balance of good consequences or the least possible balance of bad consequences. So utilitarianism is largely known as a consequential theory, which means this theory focuses on the outcome or the end or goal. If end and outcome is good, and everything is good in a truncated version. Um, Morality as a human institution should be about promoting human welfare, minimizing harms and maximizing benefits. Utilitarian theory believes that happiness is a purpose of human life, and happiness is related to the pleasure and pain. So, in other way, if a certain action or practice or policy promotes the greatest happiness, that is something we should do. At the same time, we should minimize the suffering and pain as much as we can. So this theory is largely accepted by policymakers and business leaders and executive peoples because it is handy to use. Utility as a concept is very important. So what is a utility according to utilitarianism? Utility can be simply defined as whatever produces pleasure or happiness and whatever prevents pain or suffering. So pleasure and happiness is something we have to promote, and pain or suffering is something we have to the minimizing as we plan out our action. One thing we need to know about utilitarianism or utilitarian theories, it is not egoistic theory. This theory does not promote egoism. It sounds like that way, but not really so. Why is it that? Utilitarianism is composed of two pillars, actually. The first pillar is a social principle. The other one is the principle of utility. I just mentioned about the utility as an important pillar, but the social principle explains this way. We human beings are not just an individual. We do care about our people. We do care about our community, and we love our loved ones. So the social principle actually promotes the social care of others. But at the same time, we are supposed to promote the happiness and utility, that sort of kind of things. So we need to combine these two things, the happiness principle and the principle of utility. If we're going to combine success with two principles, then the final outcome can be outlined this way: the greatest good for the greatest number of society. So according to utilitarian theory, any policy, behavior, and action that promotes the greatest good for the greatest number of society is something that we should do and strive after. Let me give you some examples how utilitarian theory can work in real life or situation. First of all, let us talk about the situation that you are going to the classroom. While you are working down the classroom, you notice that a child was drowning nearby a stream. What are you going to do? Most students will say they're going to jump into the water and save the child. But if you're going to do that, then your trousers get wet and probably you couldn't come to the class and you're going to miss the class, right? So you need to compare these two moral significance, getting wet and not coming to class and saving a child's life. So if you're going to compare these two moral significance, then pretty much you will agree saving a child's life increase overall utility and happiness, right? So that is something you're going to do. There are other aspects or the issues we can apply this utilitarian theory. One theory is about um, you know, copyright law. Yes, that could have been interesting and very effective example. Copyright law is giving exclusive right to those original creators, right? So giving like 13 years and 20 years or something like that so that they can make their own lives by exercising their exclusive right. So this right is very important because by allowing them to have this exclusive right, they're going to create more good stuff down the road, and more people will enjoy their created works, right? It's all about win-win situation at the end of the day. On the other, one other example, which is largely discussed in today's world, is about immigration issue. One of the strong argumentation about immigration reform is if you're going to reform and overhaul the immigration policy, at the end of the day, it will bring the greater good for the greatest number of our society. You can argue in such a way you are promoting the policy you are working on. So that's pretty much the very short version of what utilitarianism is all about. In the next short video, I will talk about the other topic and also some potential issues related to utilitarianism.